Today we are talking about my favorite subject in the world, EDC. Hey guys, so in today's video I am doing something that I am honestly so excited to be working on. I just attended and got back from my first EDC Orlando. It was an incredible experience, you guys. I have a full recap and review up on my channel, and then I also have 3 daily vlogs if you guys want to see what my experience was actually like. But today we are going to be doing a festival comparison. I have done EDC Orlando once. I have done EDC Las Vegas 5 times. So I was sitting here and I noticed that I've been getting a couple DMs since I've been back asking me how the two compare to each other. So I was like, let me just do one big video talking about absolutely everything so you guys can make that decision for next year if you're sort of like between the two and you don't know which one is right for you or which one you think would be a better festival. So that's what we're doing. We're doing a breakdown of both. I'm going over everything from like location, lineups, stages, pricing, hotels, weather. Like, I'm gonna talk about it all. I usually have a script written down, but I honestly just have some bullet points and I'm just gonna be talking, telling you the real deal with both of them. And I think that's all I have to say here. Let's just jump right into it because there's a lot to cover. I'm also probably going to include some clips here from both festivals so you guys can like see things side by side. Oh, and before I forget, if you guys are new here, I would absolutely love it if you would subscribe, stick around, turn on the post notification bell down below so you're notified every time I post. And if you guys want to follow along with me on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, I'll pop up my information here so you can follow along with me. Okay, I think that's all I have to say. Let's get into it. So right off the bat, both of them are of the EDC family. They are run by Insomniac Events, who the founder is Pasquale Rotella. He's amazing. He's a huge inspiration to me. So you know right off the bat, they're within the same family. The production level and things like that are going to be pretty similar. Both are 3-day events. That was a first for EDC Orlando this year. It was always a 2-day, but they extended it to 3, and that was one of the main selling points for me why I finally decided to take the plunge and go this year. So now they are both 3-day events. The hours are different. So EDC Las Vegas is 7 p.m. to 5:30 a.m. They did in the past do like even early hours. They like opened Cosmic Meadow, and they also had Bill Nye last year come talk. So they extended the hours, I think as early as 4 o'clock. So it was almost a 12-hour festival, but it primarily takes place at night, right? It's like a very neon, all the lights, everything's happening from late in the night into the early hours in the morning. EDC Orlando was different. It was 1 p.m. to midnight. So it's a little bit of different there. It was way more during the day, and then you get a couple hours at night. So ticket pricing, I'm just gonna go over GA pricing for you guys. So Vegas, obviously a lot of you know, sold out in like a second. It was so fast, it's sold out. There's a wait list you guys can join if you want to go next year, but currently on their site the wait list is the later owl pricing, and with fees it's $469 for a 3-day pass. Obviously both festivals offer payment plans, so I mean EDC Las Vegas was doing like a $10 deposit, EDC Orlando is doing the same, and they offer payment plans so you pay per month to make it more affordable for people. But if you do buy them early, I think mine in the past were maybe around like $420 because I would always buy them as soon as they went on sale, so it's like around that range. Orlando, I bought the early owl and the 3-day GA was $228. So a huge difference in pricing there, but for good reason. They're a little bit different. EDC Las Vegas, as I'm gonna get into, is the largest EDM festival in the world. It has 8 stages versus EDC Orlando, which had 4. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So there's a difference in pricing for a reason. And then both festivals also offer GA Plus and VIP as ticketing options. GA Plus is this like whole new thing that Insomniac is doing. It's like an elevated GA. You get a different fast pass entry into the festival, and then you usually get separate bathrooms, which are a little bit nicer. And then VIP for both festivals will include like sectioned off VIP areas that have separate bars, food, private air-conditioned trailer bathrooms, separate entrances, and VIP usually has elevated viewing platforms. It's nice. I did VIP at EDC Las Vegas this year, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I did not do VIP for Orlando, I just did a GA pass. So that's like somewhat around the pricing. relaxing. Location and weather. Okay, so obviously EDC Las Vegas is in Las Vegas, Nevada. It used to take place in June. I went to it, I think, 3 times in June, twice in May. It's obviously very, very hot. That's what it's known for being. So both of them are on like the warmer side. However, both of them, I can easily say, have unpredictable weather, because last year in Las Vegas, there was a cold front, which was out of fucking nowhere and was horrible. And it was so goddamn cold. I had to like, luckily I brought sweatpants and a sweatshirt, which I wore Sunday of Las Vegas, and it was freezing at night. In years prior, it was 100 degrees at night, and it was like the complete opposite issue. People were like overheating and getting dehydrated, so you never know. I feel like the cold weather was just a weird thing that happened this year, but you never know. And there was also a wind advisory in Vegas this year. They had to close down 2 stages on Saturday, and they couldn't do their fireworks because the wind was so strong. So that was weird. Florida, unpredictable because of the rain. It was pretty beautiful Saturday and Sunday. It was perfect. It was like 80 degrees and sunny. It was really hot, and at night it was like low 60s. It was great. I wore pants 2 of the days of the festivals and like a crop top. I felt so comfortable, and I brought like a pashmina if I got a little cold, but it was very comfortable. Friday it poured the whole time. As long as you were prepared, I had a poncho, I was fine. We were outside, we went under the neon garden tent when we needed it, but you're not gonna have that issue in Las Vegas. I don't know if I prefer the cold or the rain, but both are a little unpredictable with weather. But on the bright side, you can most likely expect it to be warm, which is good. Also location-wise, so EDC Orlando took place at Tinker Field, which is sort of like this big open space. There was a little bit of grass, there was a little bit of concrete, and it was like a stadium. It was right outside, like in the parking lot kind of area, and then it's in the city of Orlando, so you have like a very busy city around you. Vegas, it does not take place near the Strip. It's probably like a 35 to 40 minute drive if there's no traffic. In the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, so it's in this huge raceway, and it's really cool because you have all the mountains in the background, and it kind of feels like you're in another world. It's like separate from everything else. Like when you are taking the drive out there, it feels like you're going far away to just like live in the Las Vegas EDC world. So it's kind of cool. It feels very isolating, but like in the best way possible. Okay, I talked about hours. Okay, hotels and lodging options, you guys. So this is like, there's so many options, I feel like, with both festivals. So for Vegas, you obviously have the Las Vegas Strip, which is one of my biggest highlights. I've been to Vegas like 10 times now. I love it. You can stay on the Strip in any number of hotels at any number of price points. You can go bougie as fuck if you want. You can go in affordable options. I've stayed in the Luxor, and it's costed me like for 5 nights maybe $100 and something, $200. Like you can go cheap if you're splitting it with people. EDC Orlando, same deal. You can stay in a number of hotels. Both offer shuttle lines. I'll talk about transportation in a second, but there's Airbnbs for both. Totally an option. I knew a lot of people at Orlando that did Airbnbs with huge groups, so I think that's definitely a way to go. And then camping. EDC Las Vegas offers camping. EDC Orlando does not. It's not a camping festival. Vegas camping sold out already, which a lot of you know because they keep upping the experience. It was new 2 years ago. I haven't done the camping yet, but it looks really incredible. They build this like whole experience in the parking lot. They have like this thing called the Mesa. They have a pool, and they have all these shift pods that you can camp out in. You don't have to bring any camping materials with you or anything. It's already set up. You can bring an RV. They have that. That's an additional cost on top of your festival ticket. But it's really nice because you can literally walk right in and out of the festival. You cut out all the transportation time. So that was a really nice option, and that's why it sold out so quickly. Orlando, you're more likely to be staying in like a hotel or an Airbnb, or you're local and you're driving, which is nice. And then I know there was also Home Base. If you guys aren't familiar, Home Base was like an event production company that put on like a hotel takeover, and it was in Kissimmee, like 40 minutes from the venue, and they had like pre-parties, after parties, the whole thing. So that's kind of like your lodging options. Transportation, okay, this is a good one to compare because I feel like both can be a bit of a shit show. This was like one of my biggest cons for both of them. But for Las Vegas, so if you're camping, you can obviously drive in and park, and then you're good for the week. You're already at the festival. If you're coming from the Strip, you can do Uber or Lyft. You can do shuttles, or you can take a helicopter for $800 a round trip, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, I've done both. I did the shuttles for 3 years, and then I did Ubers and Lyfts for 2 years. The shuttles for the most part, I highly recommend, especially if it's your first year going. You pay like one fee, like I think it was like $96 for a 3-day pass. They have multiple shuttle pickup stops on the strip, so you can kind of figure out where you want to go based on where your hotel is. And then, I mean, guys, like depending on how early you leave, the fastest we ever got to the Speedway was 45 minutes. The worst case scenario, and this is like an outlier, in 2017 they had severe issues with their shuttles. It took us almost 3 hours to get to the raceway. They fixed that in the last 2 years. Last year I heard this experience was really great with the shuttle, so I highly recommend them. And you get to meet all these people, and like it's a great experience. The Ubers and Lyfts I did the last 2 years, again, I was splitting them with friends, so it wasn't too expensive. But I would say it took about an hour to get to the Speedway based on the time that we left. And then coming home, if you leave the festival early, you might be okay. But the first night of Vegas this year, it took us almost 2 hours, 2.5 to get home. It was completely miserable. It just sucks. It sucks to get out there. It's hard. It's not the most convenient thing. But then the other 2 days were maybe like an hour, I want to say, to get back to the hotel. So it's wishy-washy. If you're rich enough to take a helicopter, God bless you. Go ahead and do that. That is like a bucket list item of mine. It's incredible. It's kind of like this otherworldly experience when you're in Vegas, because you'll be in the Speedway with all this shit going on, all the stages, all the music, and then helicopters are just like going over your head left and right, and you're like, where the fuck am I? Like, it's just so crazy. You will not experience that anywhere else in the world, because all the artists are coming in via helicopter. So it's really, really cool. So yeah, so that's transportation for Vegas. For Orlando, I did Ubers to the venue each day. Friday was a nightmare. We left at 5 o'clock. That was a rookie mistake. I would never leave that late again. It took us like almost an hour to get to the festival. Meanwhile, our hotel was 20 minutes away from the venue. Going home each night, I left a little early. It took me like 25 minutes to get back to my hotel, so not bad at all. Way, way more convenient than Vegas, guys, because especially like depending on how close you stay to the venue, it could just be an easier ride. They offer shuttles as well next year, because I plan on going next year. I am gonna do a shuttle 1000%. I think it's just way more bang for your buck, and I think it's just like a nice way to know like the shuttles are there waiting for you when you get out of the festival. You're not sitting there trying to get a fucking Uber, because that was a nightmare on Saturday. We couldn't get an Uber for almost an hour. It was horrible. Our service wasn't loading, like a mess. The shuttles are there waiting for you. They're gonna fill up the buses and they're gonna keep it moving. So that's great. And then I think there were also like other limo services. People book their own private buses. Like, you can do whatever the hell you wanna do, but those are your transportation options. Okay, stages. So at both Vegas and Orlando, there is Kinetic Field, which is the main stage, Circuit Grounds, Neon Garden, which is like the techno house kind of tent, and then Stereo Bloom made an appearance at EDC Orlando this year. That was new, I believe. So in addition, at Vegas, you get more stages. You get Wasteland, which is the hard dance stage. You get Bass Pod, which is obviously your bass music, and you get Quantum Valley, which is your trance stage. And you also get Cosmic Meadow, which is like my absolute favorite. Circuit Grounds and Cosmic Meadow are my favorite. Cosmic Meadow, which is like all an array of artists. It's like the grassy area in the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It's a vibe. I love it. So you get 8 stages in Vegas, 4 in Orlando. You also have these additional stages, which are kind of like sponsored areas. So there's Corona Electric Beach, which is its own like stage. And you also have all of the art cars. So art cars are present at both festivals. It's basically like this huge, like, I don't even know if you call it a car, like contraption, I don't know, moving thing, and they post up and artists play on them. It's really cool. They were at both festivals. I caught more art car sets in Vegas. I actually went on one of the art cars to see Io back-to-back No Mana for a first time. It was really cool. And then in Orlando, there were 2, I think, and they were in the same area. I'll put a clip in here if I remember, but I just walked by and it seemed fun. It was a good time. You do get obviously a wider range of artists in Vegas because they have 8 stages. Like, EDC Las Vegas is like the mecca. It is like the festival of all festivals, especially for ravers. It's kind of like this own world that you go to, and you have all of the genres to pick from. Whatever you're into, they have it there. It's a lot. You're never going to be able to see everything in Las Vegas, right? There's just so much going on, versus Orlando, there's only 4 stages, so I felt like I got to be at all of the stages equally, which was very nice. It was a smaller scale, and it still like had enough of artists that I wanted to see, so it's kind of like back and forth, but Vegas will give you like all of the options in the entire world. So like if you're a hard dance music like stan, you absolutely love it. There was only Stereo Bloom on Friday of Orlando was the hard dance stage. That was kind of like it for the weekend, so you only got like a taste of it, versus there's an entire stage in Vegas for it. So they do keep the designs the same for some of them. So Kinetic Field, the theme this year was Kinetic Energy. It was the exact same design in Orlando and Vegas. It was just a smaller stage, I believe. In Orlando, they cut down the size of it. They kept Stereo Bloom the same, which was cool. I liked that. I actually preferred Stereo Bloom in Orlando rather than in Vegas. I felt like it had more time to shine. It felt like a bigger space, and it was just like more of a vibe, versus like in Vegas, it kind of just felt like it was crammed in its spot. So I liked it better in Orlando. And then Circuit Grounds was a new design in Orlando, and Neon Garden was a new design in Orlando. It was a tent. In Vegas, it was this open air, like 360-degree kind of like experience. I preferred Neon Garden in Vegas. I felt like the tent was a little underwhelming in Orlando, but that's just my opinion. And then Circuit Grounds in both were awesome. Circuit Grounds in Vegas was like this like wraparound kind of stage with all these LED screens. It was my favorite stage of Vegas like that they've ever done. I fucking loved it. In Orlando, I thought the design was really cool. It wasn't as good as Vegas, but I still like really loved it. I was there for like 5 sets on Sunday, and it kind of blew me away with like the lasers and the production. So Circuit Grounds is like a win-win. It's always good. Okay, so lineups, I kind of touched on it, you guys. Pasquale does an incredible job of picking a really nice, diverse lineup, and I also feel like he does a good job of like introducing newer artists that like you may not have heard of. I don't know, I just always feel like with EDC, there's the opportunity to explore new music, new genres, and also see all of these like bigger names, so you have like a mix. So I love that. I think that they cater it really well. You can tell he's putting in more like techno artists and house artists. Like it's just very big right now, so that's good. But you'll always get like a taste of something. He's gonna have bass artists, he's gonna have hardstyle, he's gonna have a little bit of everything, so that, you know, it's a nice wide range for everybody to enjoy. We're getting through this, you guys. So after parties, obviously in Vegas, one of the biggest perks, if you're not camping and you're staying on the strip, is the pool parties and the nightclubs. It's Vegas. It's one of the best places to party in the world. It's one of my favorite things. The pool parties are such a fucking good time. I have so many videos on the pool parties, guys. I'll put them up here. I'll link them below. Just go check out my EDC Las Vegas playlist. The pool parties are such a fucking good time. There's so many artists that are playing there. That's the good thing. Like Vegas, like you'll go to the festival and then you have all these opportunities to see these other artists who aren't even playing the festival in Vegas. So it's so fun. The nightclubs are like insane. So if you want to get dressed up and like go out and do that as well, you have that opportunity. In Orlando, they had after parties at some of the like local nightclubs. I didn't go to any of them. And then Home Base again had pool parties and after parties as a part of like the hotel package. And you could also buy tickets if you just wanted to go to the parties. So, and they had a pretty good lineup as well. If you were staying at the hotel, even better, because you have access to all of that with your ticket. So both have opportunities for like additional partying. However, it's Vegas. You know what I mean? Like, you're to go into Vegas to fucking party. And I also just really quickly, while I'm talking about the strip, want to touch on restaurants. So in Orlando, actually one of the perks of Orlando, if you wanted to spend more time there, you have Disney and Universal. I stayed right near Universal. I didn't get to go, unfortunately. But you do have that opportunity to do like more activities in Orlando. I was like just near all like fast food restaurants, so I didn't really eat that healthy, or I didn't eat anything like amazing or groundbreaking. Versus Vegas, when I go to Vegas, all my favorite restaurants are there. There's these like world-renowned restaurants, there's buffets, like any restaurant you could ever imagine is there. So I feel like that's why I always stay on the strip, and that's why I don't camp in Vegas. I like trying all the restaurants, I like the pool parties, I like the nightclubs. Like I want to be on the strip so that I have access to all of that. So that's a huge perk of Vegas. Okay, last up, guys, just overall experience. I'll speak about both of them. I've kind of touched on this, but I think both are great representations of what EDC is. People were asking me like, what was the vibe like, blah, blah, blah. Like, they're different. At the end of the day, they're different. Like EDC, like the pure like scale of it and just how many stages and how much is going on. Both of them had the art installations. That's a big thing for Insomniac. Both of them had the performers, and like the whole EDC vibe was present at both. It's just the size of it. The size of EDC is crazy. It's like overwhelming. I feel like there's people of all ages and lifestyles. There's weddings. There's a fucking wedding chapel in Vegas at the festival. You can get married there. You have the fireworks, which is like the best view I've ever seen in my entire life. Every year that I've gone, the fireworks will fucking blow you away. So like those are all things that are like special to Vegas. Orlando had just as incredible vibes. Plenty of ravers. I thought the age range was pretty good. I thought maybe it would skew younger, and it didn't. I definitely met some people who were in their 30s, who were in their 40s. I didn't have any issues with people in the crowd. I thought everybody was pretty friendly. Some pushing and shoving here and there, but nothing that I thought was bad. There was a pretty bad theft problem in Orlando. People get shit stolen in Vegas as well, but I think Orlando is kind of known for people stealing phones, and some people's cars were broken into. But the crowd in general I thought was great at both. I think EDC Orlando is a more manageable size if this is your first festival or if you're just getting into all of this. I think it's a really nice like intro to music festivals and EDM. Like I said, you can get around to all of the stages. You can kind of see everything, which I really like, versus Vegas. Like I feel like I never actually see the entire festival because there's just so much going on. So it's hard. I feel like you miss some things, whereas Orlando is more manageable. The production at both, because it's Insomniac, incredible, like absolutely incredible. I think they have a little bit more room with Vegas because they have more stages and more space. But Orlando, I thought that they like really brought it. Great food vendors at both, free water refill stations at both. Yeah, just overall, it made me happy. I was nervous because I was like, I have such a high expectation of EDC and Insomniac, and I feel like Orlando did it justice, and I had just as much fun, and I plan on going back next year. I had so much fun. There are some things I would do differently, but that goes for both festivals. So anyway, I hope I didn't miss anything. I really tried to cover like as much as possible to give you guys like a better idea of both festivals, but I don't think you can go wrong. I think if you want to save up and like really go for it, then go for Vegas. You have to do it at least like once in your lifetime. But EDC Orlando, like if you're nearby or if you want to travel, I think now that it's 3 days, it's 100% worth your time. You know, it was a really good vibe. I loved everything about it. And next year I kind of want to extend my trip a day or two so I can go do Disney as a part of it. But yeah, I mean, there was just as much people getting dressed up. Oh, that's one thing I wanted to say. I didn't know what to expect with Orlando because Vegas, like, again, everyone gets so into it. Outfits are insane. Like, you can wear whatever the fuck you want. Like, people are walking around in like thongs and pasties. Like, no one's gonna judge you. It's a judgment-free zone. All are welcome here. There was just as much of that in Orlando. Like, maybe not as extreme, but people got so into it, so dressed up. I was so happy. I was like, yes, we have some like real ravers here. Like, fuck yeah, people are embracing the community, trading candy. Like, felt like people weren't like standoffish. They were like embracing the whole culture. So I did like that, and that's why I will definitely be back next year. Please give this a thumbs up, you guys. It really helps my channel, and you know, I appreciate you guys supporting me. Please send this link out to your friends today, or share this on social media. And again, please subscribe if you guys are new here. I would absolutely love it if you would come back and watch more of my videos. And again, go check out my daily vlogs, check out my podcast. I did a full recap and review of my experience there, and I think that's all I have for you guys. So I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.